everyone. Welcome to the Electric Road Show. Today we are going to talk about these super bad motherfuckers, Lacroix. So Alex?
Well, what we got here is a couple of Supersport Lacroix 18S 8P.
Too big.
They're essentially, are they too big?
This thing's heavy.
Well, it is heavy. I mean, essentially this is a long range board. Range on these is anywhere, depending on how you ride, 50 to up to 100 miles. I have not done 100 miles. We're out here at Red Rocks just to compare the two. Right now Joe is on the Falcon drive. This is a gear drive system. So we've got the Falcon drive on this one and a traditional belt drive system on this. And there's some debate as to which one's better.
So Alex, you know, you were talking about the batteries that are the same. You talk about the gear drive and the belt drive are completely different.
Yeah, the storm core is the same in both of them.
Okay.
One of the significant differences here is the wheels are a little bit wider, which is going to give you a better contact patch for traction.
Okay.
Maintenance is a totally different issue. One thing that I'll say about the Falcon drive that I notice is, I don't know if you can get in here, but in order to put air in these tires, you actually have to take the axle nut off and you have to remove each of those center titanium screws. There's 5 of them to remove the wheel to get to the valve stem, which is tucked in there, which is
That's a pain in the
hugely annoying.
That's a pain in the ass.
So for my preference, you know, traditional belt drive, you know, when people talk about maintenance, there's not that much maintenance to do with a belt drive system.
Yeah.
They're pretty maintenance free.
Yeah, just
when
make sure
something
you don't
goes
collect
wrong,
rocks and shit.
yeah, when something goes wrong, you swap out your belt, no problem.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong on a gear drive, out here,
Yeah.
you're hauling this sucker back home on foot.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're pissed the entire time.
Yeah.
I did that 2 weeks ago.
All right, well, let's
Cool.
ride.
Really? And wild horses.
Wild ones?
Yeah.
Cool.
All in this valley.
So this is our skate crew today. Got this homie, Anthony.
What's up,
Jacob.
buddies?
It's the Beyond crew today.
And then that guy over there decided he wanted to take a piss in front of all those people over there.
Don't do what I did.
with my heart on hyperdrive. I'll do what it takes to make you believe. With my heart on hyperdrive. We do what we want, but we're not free. With our hearts on hyperdrive.
right, Joe, what do you think?
Okay, so I didn't think I was gonna notice the difference between the gear drive and the belt drive, but with the gear drive, it's a lot smoother on takeoff and in brake. When I was starting with the belt drive, I noticed that on the takeoff, I had a little slippage until it started to get going.
From what I understand, there's a firmware update available for this one.
Okay,
So hopefully that would fix that. So that aside,
okay.
other impressions?
My hand's cold as shit. I had to put a puffer on today because it's like 45 degrees out here in the middle of the desert. And this California boy is not used to that shit. So other than that, I mean, the board's really heavy.
Okay.
So for me to maneuver it around, I'm just pretty much like, if I have a nice straightaway, then I'm able to get a nice carve in there. But other than that, it's like...
we had the loosest bushings you can get on this board.
I enjoyed that setup. I did notice that I was getting a little wobble.
Well, we tightened up the back,
Okay.
and then I jumped on it.
Yep.
That's been great. Compared to this one, how's this one feel?
This right here, with the stiffness of how you have it set up, I like it a lot more. It's easier to maneuver around for me.
Okay. So, theoretically, with the gear ratio on this one, I think it's 52-17 or something like that.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. So it's got a little bit more top speed.
Yeah.
And so that's one difference as well. So you felt like it had more get up and go?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's been my impression too.
Yeah.
So
I do like your remote
yeah.
with this setup.
So we'll talk about this for a second. This is the Batwing enclosure. This was a 3D printed case that I put on this puck, and for my hand and just the way I ride, I like to have a point of reference for where the throttle is.
Yes.
The difference being with the puck, you can hold it a little bit further back, you can rotate it, and when you're riding, you're not really thinking about that kind of stuff. And so there's a sense where you lose your point of reference.
Yeah, and that's what I've been dealing with right now, learning the hoist
This
puck.
locks in your point of reference.
Yes.
So that there's no question about where your throttle is.
Yeah, yeah. This deck is really beautiful. I love this red and black finish. It just like
that herringbone kind of pattern.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the carbon, and I wish all these other companies, and I started seeing it with
You
like
might need to get around on this side.
I've seen it with like X-Way, and they do like a carbon, red carbon. It's really cool. But with this right here, dude, it just like looks beautiful, and it just like glistens. What do you guys think? Do you think it's beautiful? You think it's beautiful? I think it's beautiful.
They are beautiful boards.
I mean, this is what $10,000 looks like.
We didn't talk about top speed. What kind of top speed were you hitting, Joe?
Fuck. I mean, I've been cruising today. It's a little colder. But I mean,
Probably 35 at least.
Yeah, at least 35. And I'm comfortable with that. It's a wider truck base. At 35, it just feels comfortable.
Yeah, it feels super stable. I think I hit probably 36 or 38, somewhere in there. I mean, there were a couple of times where I punched
With
it.
the belt drive?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can still get up there with the belt drive.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll get up there.
Yeah, I think once if we do a firmware update with this one, and I want to try the belt drive again because I just felt like it was slipping, like it was like
Just on
ready to-
kickoff?
yeah, just on kickoff.
Just on kickoff.
Yeah, and I only noticed it a couple times, but other than that, it wasn't that big of a deal for me. But I've been used to the Stooge setup with the gear to gear, and this thing right here, it's like it's a gear to gear, but it's quiet because it's on case and it's enclosed. You know, so it's like if I was to choose which one, I mean, from what I've been getting used to, I would go with this one because of the maintenance. I don't want to fucking have to worry about changing out belts.
You think the maintenance on this is going to be easier?
I think so. Because
I mean, theoretically, what you got to do every 1,000 miles or so probably is put some grease in it.
Put some grease in it, okay?
But I would also at
what
the
about
same
your belts?
time.
What about your belts?
Well, hang on. I would also at that time want to take this apart and take a look at the gears and make sure they're all.
But with belts, I mean, how often do you have to replace a belt?
For me,
or gear?
Maybe every 5,000 miles or so. Like, not very often.
So you think that this plastic gear or this metal gear right here is going to withstand?
Oh, you're talking about the gear.
I'm talking about the gear.
Not
I'm
the
talking
belts.
about this whole
Yeah,
setup right here
This
versus
gear,
this setup.
I think this gear would last many thousands of miles.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't have thousands of miles experience on this board.
Yeah.
But I don't see why not. And this gear right here, the motor pulley is titanium.
Yeah.
So that's going to last forever.
Yeah.
what do you think would make somebody want to go for the Falcon drive? I mean, if you were to decide, which board do you take?
On aesthetics,
On
because they're both the same. Look how beautiful this looks. Don't touch it. Just don't touch it. But I mean, like looking at this right here, I'm not gonna get any rocks. I'm not gonna get any debris or get anything in this. We're gonna stop and take a look at that. I've been on belts for 7 years.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah, whatever.
If something goes wrong in there, you won't see it.
Correct. I'm just gonna hear it. I'm gonna really hear it.
Here, at least you can do a visual inspection, you know, pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a preference.
Your choice.
Preference.
Yeah.
Preference.
Honestly, that's what it breaks down to at the end of the day. Like preference, because when somebody like asks, what's the best board? That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
That really is a loaded question because it's like, what do you like, bro? What makes you
Everybody's
feel
tastes
comfortable?
are different.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what the thing is that's the difference. I mean, I'm looking at these two boards and it's like you have these nice, beautiful hubs, plastic hubs, then you got the belt drive, then you got the gear drive. So it's like on aesthetics, I would literally choose this because it looks nicer from the ass.
But I'll tell you what,
it's all about the ass,
every
man.
time I want to add air, I'm going to get an aneurysm because I just won't.
100%, and I think that's a design flaw. I think that's a massive design flaw, and I think that should be fixed.
There's no good reason for it.
There's none at all. I mean, they should have it to be able to come.
Well, maybe there's a valve extension that I don't know about. If you know of an easier way to air up Falcon drive tires, we would love to know. Give us a shout.
So, that's it, man. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So let's finish this ride.
Let's finish this ride.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching this week's episode on the Electric Road Show.
Catch you next week.